do you have yourself a well item that have great stats on it, but you have a legendary item that have it bonus effects that you want to use on your well? Well, got some good news for you because this is something you can do inside of Diablo 4. And of course, today I'm going to be showing you how to turn them ability and the Codex of Power into, well, any more power. But before we hop into the details of that, I do want to give a very, very big thank you to everybody that's supporting over on patreon.com/Macon. A link in the description for that, as well as a giant thank you to 1K for supporting at the Lunatil. And with that, let's go ahead, let's get into this, and let's talk about how to get any more powerful inside of Diablo 4. So to start off here, we need to go ahead and find an NPC that can actually give us the Codex of Power. So this can be found in really any town here. And of course, it is a little like triangle with circle symbol here. And once you go ahead and find it, you can go ahead and head on in. But real quick, small little tangent here. If you are planning on playing this in the quote or open beta, just know that this will, once again, just like gem crafting, will take a little bit to unlock. So you will not have access to it right away. But don't you worry, keep playing through the beta and you will get it. At for the elite, we will see how quickly it is actually unlocked, if not following the same pattern. But nonetheless, play the game a little bit, you will get it. And once you do, let's go ahead and talk to the NPC. So there is a few tabs here. We have Imprint Aspect, we will come back to in a moment because there are a couple other little things we need to do first. So let's go ahead and head on into Attract Aspect. So once again, this is coming down into Legendary. This is exclusively for Legendaries, because when you hover over them, you will notice this little star symbol with a stat on it, and this is what we are going to be removing. So of course, go ahead and figure out what one you want, and once you actually find a aspect that you actually want, you can go ahead and whip this off. So to do so, we're going to go ahead and pick whichever, and we're going to drag it in here into the legendary item. Just know when you do this, the item itself will be destroyed, and then you will get an item in return, which is of course this ability. So if you have an item you're planning on using and you don't want to break down, be sure to, well, not do this. So just keep that in mind for the process. So what will end up happening here, though, we will get a preview of this and what it can actually be equipped into, such as an Nikkei helm, armor, boot, glove, whatnot. So we have an idea of what it can go on. Sadly, no wings here, but once you're okay with that, you will go ahead and pay a currency to remove it. So let's go ahead and do that, and of course say yes, you sure you want to break the item. That item will be broken, and you will get a new item in your Aspect tab. So once you actually have your hands on this, you can go ahead and head back to Imprint Aspect. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and find whatever piece of armor you want to put the stat on. And of course, it can be either a legendary or a whale. So just keep in mind here, if you decide to put a legendary on here, this will go ahead and remove its star ability. So you can't have multiple, it's just going to replace it. So if you go that route, make sure you want to replace that star ability. But with that being said, though, if you want to do a legendary on the other hand, it will not replace any of the stat, it will just be added to it. So in this case, let's go ahead and say we have the weapon here, or I get chest piece in my case, and we want to do it. We will move on into the second step. So the second step, we can either go one of two ways. We can either use the item we just pulled off of a distant item, or we can go ahead and use a Codex of Power. So Codex of Powers are interesting because these are, of course, a distant ability that you can go ahead and find a gather about. The best way to think of these is, of course, can be gotten through doing quests or The more easier bit, at least from the beta right now, is of course begotten by taking on dungeon. So the dungeon itself, if you hover over any of these, and it have like a little chest icon, as well as telling you what type of reward in it, you can go ahead and go do these. And by completing the dungeon, you can get your hands on your Kodak of Power. And of course, if you do want to give a more inside look to all the ones you have collected, you can also do so. So if we go ahead and hit tab and head over to a collectible, you can also hit Y to do this as well, and head to Kodak Power. You will also see all of them listed here as well, that in the game, as well as the ones you have found. And you can also double check and see what ability they have. And of course, we do have them breaking out into different variants. So this is a good thing if you want to go ahead and try to collect these and use them in that case. And if that's the case, by just clicking on this, picking whatever ability you want, and of course, you can go ahead and add it. Just keep in mind though, if you do go to Kodak Power route, these will only work on certain weapon types and armor. So, just know that is a thing here. And of course, if you have an item, which I do not, is once you equip it, you will have a preview down here of what that ability will look like on the equipment, as well as a currency of how much you gotta pay. So, let's go ahead, let's just remove this, and let's go back to what we were doing. So, let's go ahead and get back into Aspect. So from here, you can go ahead and head back to your Aspect tab, and you can go ahead and drag and drop this item into it, or whichever item you want to equip. So once again, that will take this item and impose it onto this item. And as you can see here, we do have to pay a fee, as well as paying some crystals as well, since it do cost 1 crystal at least in the beta, to actually enhance your equipment. Just know to get your hands on these does involve you having to break down items of well or higher at the blacksmiths to get that currency. So just keep that in mind, and if you want a more in-depth video on that, I have a link above to, well, just that. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already, and once you are happy with it, you can go ahead and hit imprint, and this ability will be added to that weapon or armor. But that's not it for the crafting. Let's go ahead and talk about sigils. So sigils are going to be enhanced items that you can go ahead and craft. So I haven't had any luck finding these in the beta. I don't for sure these are actually in the beta yet, or they could be a retail thing. But nonetheless, how this is going to operate, they are going to be broken up into tier system. So as you can see here, there are multiple tiers. At 1 through 5, 6 through 10, so on and so on, all the way up to a tier 100. And of course, it will require you to have a material and some gold to actually craft it. Lucky enough here, there is a couple ways to do this. So first of all, as stated here, you are going to require to be in Ward Tendency 3. And if you want a video about Ward Tendency, I will have it on my video here very soon. So to keep that in mind, some of that is going to be require you to do, harder and harder variants of content to get your hands on it. But once you have the money, the item, you can then break it down and create you a sigil that you can go ahead and put into your weapons as well. And if you're looking for the certain currency of the sigils and being able to unlock the sigil later on at higher tiers or on Elite, you can go ahead and also break these down into the currency as well right here. So if you have any in your inventory, you can go ahead and click on this and then click on it to break it down if you want to do individual ones, or you can break these down in sets of multiples as well to get more of that currency. So this is something else to keep in mind if you're looking at making yourself any more powerful. And then our last tab here, it enhance items. So how this is going to operate here is, of course, if we drag over any of our legendary, you will notice it pretty much break out like all the stats that is on it. And if we want to enhance these stats, we will go ahead and, of course, pay a currency as well as them crystal from earlier, and of course some other crafting materials that we will also find a way to get in We Leak. Once again, not in the beta, or if so, I haven't figured out how to farm these yet. But nonetheless, you will need any more currency to do so. And then you can go ahead and enhance the bait stats that are also on your enhanced weapons. And you can also do that for whale items as well. So, as you can see here, though, this is a little more doable since, you know, it's only going to require one of the crystal and the money. And you can go ahead and do that. So, there you go. There you go, another way to enhance from the Kodak Apparel upgrade shop. And with that, that will go ahead and do it on crafting your weapons. And hopefully this has been helpful. If so, make sure you do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the wonderful bells below. And of course, a big thank you once again to everybody over on patreon.com/Macon. Link will be in the description if you want to join and get your name listed here for as little as $1 a month. So thank you. And with that, that's going to go ahead and do it for me. I will be back tomorrow with any more Diablo 4 videos. And till then, I will go ahead and see you all in the comments.